360 Live, welcome everyone, wherever you are out there in the world. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. It's the 1st of December, it's a new month. Lots happened in November, and I must apologize for missing out on my show yesterday. I know you guys have got used to shows on Saturdays over the last while. Unfortunately, yesterday I didn't spend 1 second at home. From 6 a.m., I was out of the house with the kids. They had a cricket game starting at 7:30. Straight into a birthday party for the kids after that in the afternoon. And then I went to Johannesburg yesterday for a 40th birthday party. So it was a chock and block day. Very, very busy in the Villiers household. And Sundays are rest days over here. So we're taking it very easy. It's a nice day always to reflect on your week and also plan for the week ahead. Watching from Pretoria, South Africa. Welcome. Thank you very much, DJ SL, whatever that stands for. Maybe you are really a DJ in real life, so maybe we'll, if that is true, we'll get some of your tunes on here in the future. Lots of cricket happened over this week, guys, and very exciting results as well as the Proteas came out on top. We'll quickly run through those scores. Marco Jansen, absolutely stunning bowling performance, picking up 11 wickets in the game. And South Africa ending out with a great win, a very, very important win. And we will discuss the WTC table, and I'll show you why it was such an important win for the Proteas as they jumped from 5th place to 2nd with just one test win. There's the standout performers, Themba Bavuma. Welcome back into great form, my friend. Very happy to see you. Well, he's been in good form for a long time, but he's been injured in and out, and really difficult for him to find his feet and that rhythm that we're so used to in test match cricket. And here he is, straight out of the blocks with a 70 and 100 in that second innings. Also with Tristan Stubbs, 100 in his second innings as well. Great partnership from the two of them and really took it away from Sri Lanka and made it incredibly difficult. And we've spoken about India over there in Australia having to get enough runs so that the bowlers can have freedom to carry your catches for longer periods of time. And that's what Tristan and Themba made sure about, is that the catches could stay in for a long period of time. And guys like Marco Jansen could just pitch it up and constantly put pressure on the batters and wait for them to make a little mistake, and they will catch us everywhere around the bat. So fantastic win from the Proteas out of the blocks with a very important win. And Sri Lanka getting bowled out for 40 odd. I'm pretty sure you guys would have seen I was active on X, and all Sri Lanka needed to do was to bat for an hour, get rid of that new ball for 15 overs, and couldn't believe it, but they were all out before then. And then the wicket flattened out. I spoke about the Durban wicket being really tough in the mornings. And then in the afternoons, especially from day 2 onwards, that's where you want to bat. You want to be in there. It gets really good to bat. And especially when you get in. And Tristan Stubbs and Themba Bavuma showed us exactly that. If you get in the Durban and the new ball's out of the way, it's a paradise to bat on. Unfortunately for Sri Lanka, they never had that opportunity. The odds were stacked against the Proteas, losing the toss, batting that first morning, then a lot of rain, batting the second morning, and getting bowled out relatively cheaply, in my opinion. All Sri Lanka needed to do was get through that morning session into the afternoon. Unfortunately, they got a little bit of the afternoon, and as the wicket got a little bit better, they were all out. So big disappointing performance from them, and you could see Jai Suriya's disappointment after the game with his team's performance there. Going to Durban, they've never lost there. So this was their first test loss in Durban. Quite incredible stat that. And they move on to Port Elizabeth now, Naberga, where they will be playing the second test match. All to play for the Proteas. It will be great to build on the first win they just got. And there's the WTC table, the World Test Championships table. As we see India on top, South Africa jumping into second spot. And guys, just to clear it up with you, everyone in the top 5 is still in the run here, in the hunt. From England downwards, they're pretty much knocked out. And unfortunately, they will not be seeing that final. But all to play for. There's scenarios for all of these teams still to qualify in the top 5. That's Sri Lanka, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and also India. India, obviously, great win over there in Australia. They got off with a very good bang there over in Oz. But as I said, and as I warned a lot of fans out there, it's not over with Australia. Trust me, it's a long series. It's more like a marathon than a sprint. Even though India's way ahead with this, the first 50-meter sprint, there's still a lot of cricket to be played. And Australia love to bounce back. They are fighters. They will be back. And I'm expecting a much improved performance from them. It doesn't mean India will step back, because they've got all to play for as well. And they want to stay on top of their WTC rankings. So Sri Lanka also with that loss moving down to 5th spot from 3rd. So a big knock for them, and they will have to bounce back with that next test match. Remember, it's only a 2 test match series. So yeah, I've spoken about this many times before. I've vented on there before that I wish they would give these teams bigger series, 3+ test matches. 2, I just feel just not enough, It's not enough for a team to bounce back and to do that marathon. This is more like a sprint, and it's never, to me, a good thing with Test cricket. Test cricket is supposed to be this challenge, this incredible test of character for a long period of time, and unfortunately, only 2 test matches there. All right, let's take a couple of questions, guys. As you know, subscribe to the channel. Also post your questions down below. I will cover as many as I can. I am alone at home with my little daughter because my boys, believe it or not, is out for another birthday party, but they will be back soon. So, and then we'll go into that rest period for the De Villiers family. Let's take a few questions then. Who do you think will qualify for the final along with South Africa? I see South Africa already in there. I like your thinking. I must say, and we've spoken about this before, about a month ago already, where we said South Africa's schedule really lines up well for them. All they need to do is play good cricket. That the tricky one was in Bangladesh, where they won convincingly, and they set it all up for 2 home series against Sri Lanka and Pakistan to run through the door. And I think if they keep playing good cricket, no one's going to stop them, and they will most likely qualify, as we see them already in that 2nd spot. So along with them, it's a very tough call. With India's form, it'll be tough to go against them. I'm sensing India and South Africa. That'll be a fantastic result. I think it'll be a wonderful final. But never count out Australia. I know New Zealand also, with that loss against England in Christchurch, sort of took a bit of a beating there after their amazing performance in India, but they are not out of it yet. And Sri Lanka will also try and bounce back. But my goal is South Africa and India to play that finals, and I will do everything I can in my ability to go and watch that game live. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, it will be at Lord's in England. It would be nice to watch that, and it'll be an absolute spectacle. All right, moving on. We'll take a few more questions, guys, and we'll also cover a little bit of that England game. So ask your questions, please, and I'll try and cover as many as I can. So do you think South Africa's bowling lineup is currently top 2 in the world? It's difficult to say. Pretty inexperienced still. Yes, Rabada is there. With Jansen bowling like that, obviously Gerald Coetzee, I would like to see Coetzee a little bit more consistent with his lines and his lengths. I think he's got everything that is required for a great fast bowler. It's just the temperament to be more consistent with his lines and his lengths. He's got that naughty wrist that slides it down the leg side too often, in my opinion. Where I feel with Test cricket, you really need to be consistent. If he comes to the party, as I know he can, and I'm pretty sure he will, with a Marco Jansen and a Rabada in form, it is a formidable bowling attack. Obviously, Keshav Maharaj, we know what he's up to. Always very consistent. He always gets some really big wickets. So it's great. It's a great bowling lineup. I don't know where they will rank 1, 2, 3 in the world. It's relatively irrelevant, in my opinion, as long as they keep the form. And you've got to earn the right to be called the best or the 2nd best bowling attack in the world. There is the potential. And we need Rabada to stay fit. Obviously, very crucial that as well over the next 3 test matches. Obviously, Sri Lanka, and then 2 against Pakistan. Then he can take a bit of a rest and get ready, hopefully, for that finals. All right, the 2nd test, Australia and India, which is a day-night test match. Very interesting. We know it's quite lively, the day-night test matches. There's a lot of movement with the ball, and it starts the 6th of December. Absolutely cannot wait for that. As I'm speaking right now, India is busy with a warm-up or practice match. So let me just quickly pull up that score. I think they bowled the invitational side out for 240. And that's correct. And they're 61 without loss, Jaiswal. And very interestingly, KL Rahul opening the batting. With Rohit Sharma back, it seems like India's planning to push Sharma into the middle order, which is quite interesting. He's done it before. I'm not against it. And I fully agree with the fact that the 2 openers who's done exceptionally well in the last test match should start again. Don't mess with form. So that day-night test match will be happening at Adelaide Oval. As I said, it will be lively. I've seen some day-night test matches there in the past where the ball does quite a lot. It suits, I think it helps Australia. Usually Adelaide will help India, but it's not a day match or a day test match where it takes a bit of turn. It's slower. At night, it speeds up. Hazelwood, Cummins, those guys will be in the game. But remember, so will Bumrah and Siraj and the rest of the Indian attack. So That's the incredible thing of the Indian cricket team these days. They cover all bases, where that might not have been the case in the past. It will also be interesting to see what they do with their team. Will there be a change or two? It'll be interesting. I don't think you change your winning formula, but we know Rohit Sharma needs to come back. So what are they going to do there, and what will happen? What's your prediction for the pink ball test match? Oh, I don't want to get myself into the boiling pot here and get myself into trouble, but I feel Australia will bounce back. Whether I want them to win or not, that's also irrelevant. But I do feel at Adelaide at night with that seam attack, it's going to be difficult for India to build big partnerships, and that's what you need in Australia to win test matches. But let's see what happens. I'm sort of leaning towards Australia at the moment. It will also make for a fantastic series if Aussie can bounce back and set it up for the rest of the series. But nonetheless, India is in form, and it's pretty tough to bet against them at the moment. But just remember, it is in Oz, and they will look to bounce back. They'll do everything they can. Alrighty. Moving on to some other questions then, guys. I think we'll talk a little bit about RCB as well. We saw that squad, and absolutely incredible squad I think they've got. We'll cover that in a minute. What's the difference between red ball and a pink ball? The pink ball, they say, is similar, and it's the same. It's still a leather ball. It's still made exactly the same. Obviously, it's a different color. But I think it's got to do with the conditions, the nighttime conditions, under the lights. There's a very difficult period where you go from light to dark. Under the lights, all of a sudden, the ball starts moving a bit more. It seems to pick up pace for that first hour or two into the evening. So not so much to do with the pink ball, I would say. I've never played in a pink ball test match. Remember, I stepped away from test cricket. I think I finished in 2018, and I missed the day-night test matches. Well, if I look at the stats, maybe a good thing I never played in one. The batters seem to find it really hard, and I think it's got to do with the nighttime conditions where it cools down. When it cools down, I think the wicket gets a touch harder. Maybe a bit of moisture starts skidding on. It's just a bit more pace, and that's why I'm calling for the three Australian seamers, Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins, to really have a good test match over there in Australia. We've seen Hazelwood was a handful in day-night test matches in the past, and I think that'll be no different. With a little bit of sea movement, he is very, very dangerous. All right, the RCB cricket team. Let's go, Royal Challengers Bangalore. I love what I saw with that auction. And to all of you out there, please ask me questions with regards to this lineup, guys. I think it's a wonderful team, and the people I spoke to are very excited as well. I think Andy Flower and his team did a fantastic job in getting a very well-balanced team. I love the fact that Surya Sharma's there, leg spinner from KKR over to RCB. So at least we cover that wrist spinner department. And obviously, Krunal Pandya, very experienced with Swapnil Singh. I think we've covered the spinners. I still feel a mystery spinner would have been nice, but Surya Sharma will hopefully fill those boots and play some mind games with the batters and make them guess which way the ball's turning next. Anyway, Virat Kohli, Willie Captain, will wait and see. Phil Salt, fantastic signing, guys. Wherever he goes in the world, he's a very dangerous player. And that's exactly what Virat needs at the top of the order, someone to be very aggressive so that Virat can just play his game. Sometimes Virat will go at a 180 strike rate. Sometimes he'll pull it back to 120, 130. But now he'll have the freedom to adapt and adjust his game according to what he sees out there. No need to hurry out there. No need to be in a rush. Just play normal, good quality cricket strokes, because Phil Salt naturally will just look for boundaries. That's what he does best. He gets the bowlers on their backs and really puts pressure on them. He gets the field out very quickly. The slips will not even be in there because he swings too hard. When he gets the edge, it goes over the slip, Gordon. So he really puts a lot of pressure on the captain and the bowling attacks. Patidar was retained, as we know. Padikkal is back. It's great to see him there. Tim David, welcome signing that. He was with RCB before. He left for a few years and he's back now, and it's a great finisher. I love the look of him at the back end of the innings with Jacob Bethel. We've seen what he's capable of, guys. I'm very excited about this player. And to all RCB fans out there, get ready to be entertained because he's a wonderful player of spin and seam, and he can finish games. He generally bats down the order, I think about 5 or 6 for England, where I saw him batting over there in the West Indies. He had a fantastic time, scored a lot of runs at a very fast pace. More often than not, he was under pressure as well. He needed to score runs at a fast pace for his team, and he accomplished that. And now he finds himself in the RCB team. Liam Livingston, what a great signing as well. Can also bowl you some leg spin, guys. He can bowl off spin. He's a very versatile player, great player to have in the team. Good field as well. He's got a sharp brain on his shoulders. a sharp mind on his shoulders or head on his shoulders, sharp cricketing brain, let's just say it like that. And he can hit a long ball, but he can play different gears, which I really like about Livingston. Krunal Pandya, we've covered that. The spin department is covered, very happy. And then the seamers, Josh Hazelwood, Bhuvi Kumar we got, guys. I've spoken about him in length, and I'm very, very happy to have him. I saw Virat putting out some comments saying Bhuvi is the best swing bowler in the world. And I've got to agree that, yes, he's getting a little bit older, maybe lost a foot or two in pace, but his skill is just exceptional. And his ability to bowl to his plans is what really excites me. I face this guy very often, and he's so clear with what he's trying to do there. We also know he plays the big moments well. He loves hitting those Yorkers when it matters most. And more often than not, he pulls it off, and he wins games for cricket for your team. So wonderful combo there, Bhuvi and Hazelwood. I think we'll see them open the bowling. Also got Lungi Ngidi, the South African there. We haven't seen much of him lately. He's been in and out with injuries, but hopefully will be fully fit for the team. And there's the rest of the squad, guys. I'm very, very happy with what I see. I think it is a tournament-winning team, this. I'm not calling for the trophy. We're not doing the Salah Cup Namde this time around. I know all of you RCB fans will be very happy. But all past players, and we saw Robbie Uthappa, he's told me, just stop saying that. All RCB fans, please, just don't. This team is what I'm excited about. Forget about the Salah Cup Namde. What I see there is a team that's got the potential to win the tournament. There's no doubt about it. And it's been a while since I felt so excited about the side. So I hope all of you RCB fans out there are seeing the same thing as I do. I feel there's a lot of potential, a lot of talent, a lot of smart cricketers, guys who've played around the world. We've seen Phil Salt, also Livingston, play a lot of franchise cricket around the world, winning games from nowhere. Very aggressive players as well. Tim David as well. Great batting lineup, guys, and there's depth. There's not just the top 3 or 4 and then a shaky middle order. There's a very solid middle order and a very solid finishing order in numbers 5, 6, and 7. You'll see they'll win some games for RCB. So great stuff there, really good balance, and well done to everyone that played a role in that. I know Virat's very excited. I briefly spoke to him, and he's exceptionally excited about the season coming up. And yeah, I mean, we've heard him say that this could be the year. We've said that for the last I don't know how many years, but I am quietly confident and very excited, and cannot wait to join up with the Geo Cinema team next year for that first stint of the IPL. First few weeks I will be there. I'll also be there at the back end. So keep an eye out for me in the streets of India next year, March 2025. Before then, there will be the SA20. So I'll do a lot of coverage with that. I'll create a lot of content for you guys to let everyone in on what the SA20 is all about. It's a fantastic tournament over here in South Africa. And I know it's broadcasted around the world. So wherever you are, you will be able to stream it and to watch the games live. All right, a few more questions, guys, and then we're going to cut myself loose here so I can enjoy my quiet Sunday. I did say we're going to cover a bit of England and New Zealand as well. Some names popped up there that made it count for Team England. Kaj, that seam bowler, had a fantastic time out there. Well done to him, and very nice to see a young guy come through and really sort of seems mature already. Which bowler has troubled you the most in your career? Oh, quite a few. When I was younger, it was Freddie Flintoff, Shane Warne perhaps. Missed the absolute great in mentioning his name. Rest in peace. He will forever be missed, and he's a wonderful player. But Freddie Flintoff, when I was younger, I think was the guy that troubled me the most. And as I got a bit more solid with my technique, I sort of realized now why it troubled me, because I was really dodgy against straight stuff. So Freddie would just bowl it on off stump, let it come a little bit back into my pads, and I was really sort of off balance more often than not. The minute I sorted that out at the age of 25, more or less, 2008, I started feeling a bit more solid. And then guys like Murali featured, always really difficult. I'm thinking longer version now. Murali, Mitch Johnson, Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, lots of great bowlers. But let's talk about T20s. Rashid Khan. Right on top of my list. He always really, I spoke to him about this, and he said, the minute you always came out to bat, I sort of just up the ante, because I knew this is the battle I want. And I have so much respect for players like that, players who are ready to step up and happy to take on the challenge, and never ever stepped back to me, no matter what I did when I came down, reverse sweep, whatever I tried against him, he always just came back and kept following through with his plans. Very difficult to pick at night. I was never really sure what he was doing with his wrist. Sometimes I picked him, sometimes I didn't, and there's no harder feeling for a batter out there. To all of you who've played cricket before, I know most of you are cricket lovers. If you're a batter and you're not sure which way the ball's turning, there's no worse feeling out there at the crease. You sort of got to improvise then. You've got to try stuff. You've got to try and unsettle the bowler, try and get him to make mistakes because you're not sure. And that's why I always push for a mystery spinner with Team RCB. I want batters to not be sure what's coming next. And maybe Suyash Sharma is that guy. We'll wait and see. I know he's had a wonderful time with KKR and he was with RCB now. So hopefully he is the answer. Hopefully he will be tough to pick at night. And hopefully he's the go-to guy alongside Krunal Pandya and a few others that can also bowl some good spin. As I mentioned, Liam Livingston can also bowl a few other overs. We've seen him do that with Kings Punjab. And he gets a lot of wickets, guys. You can throw him the ball at any time of the innings and he's a partnership breaker. So he'll always come on and take a bit of pressure off the bowling attack. And as a batter, you always feel like he's only going to bowl one or two. I don't want to get out to him. So it sort of unsettles your rhythm. So lots of options for RCB, and that's what I really like. All right, guys, one more question. I'm going to cut it short. And we will have a stellar Sunday. And I want to wish all of you all the very best for the rest of the weekend, wherever you are. How to improve bat speed, any specific drills? Good question. I saw Tristan Stubbs talk about the fact that he was a nudger when he was a bit younger. And I think I was pretty similar in a way. I also didn't really clear boundaries. And I think only mid-20s that I start finding a little bit more power off my base. And I always talk about a base playing in this area around your body in the box and not getting away, because that's where you lose power. When your bat sort of leaves your body and you start pushing at stuff, when you're early on it, all your power disappears. So specific drills for me would be to stand completely still. I call it the Jar Callis drill because he taught me to play or to practice this drill in the nets. We completely still, almost like a Virender Sehwag used to bat against spin. He hardly ever moved his feet. So I used to do drills like that, completely still, and just play with my base. And I think that really helped me to create a bit of power within this box and really practice to release this left side of my body, my left hip. You hear a lot of Australians talk about clearing your left hip. To me, it was just to have everything intact, nice and compact, and keep that shape for as long as possible, because the later you release, the more power you create. So go practice that, wait for the ball to come into your space and to really just hit it hard into the ground, because that's when you get that drill of really accelerating through the ball, but while playing it late, because that's where your power is. So that's the long and the short. Maybe one day I will do some drills for you guys. I know a lot of you have asked for that. I'll maybe jump into the cricket net that I have here in my backyard and take some videos and let you guys a little bit in on my technique and what worked for me over the years and where I stumbled, what I struggled with, and what not. But thanks for that question. And thanks for everyone for signing in today. I had a lot of fun. It was quick. I'll quickly cover this. I saw you surprised the boy who was your big fan. I was wondering if I was in his place. I want that gift too. No, thank you very much for that, for being a super fan as well, Attar. Yeah, it's always nice to give back and to have an impact in people's lives. I played in a wonderful golf day on Friday as well. It's called the Survivors Golf Day. A couple of my really good friends who had cancer, who survived cancer, and they decided to give back and start a golf day where they raise millions of rands every single year, this golf day. It's incredible how the people come together. And this year we helped a little girl called Kayla. I say we because I felt like I was part of the day, even though I didn't do much. I just played golf, but it was just nice to be there in support and to always add value in someone else's life. And I think we changed that little girl's life completely. So congrats to Reino and Gerard. I know you guys are not listening. You're probably having a barbecue wherever you are. Enjoy a fantastic Sunday, guys. Follow me in socials, Facebook, Instagram, and also Twitter or X. There's my handles down there to stay up to date with whenever I'll be going live and when the next shows will be coming out. Also subscribe to the channel. And most important, hit that bell notification, because you will be notified when I go on and when my shows are released. Thank you very much for joining me. Apologies for missing out yesterday. And also sorry that it's so short and sweet, but it is Sunday and I didn't want to waste your time too much. It's all eyes on the WTC moving forward. India, Australia, South Africa, Sri Lanka, New Zealand, England, lots of cricket out there. Cannot wait to watch the rest unfold, and a much improved performance, hopefully, from Sri Lanka and also Australia and also New Zealand, so we can have a bit of excitement in the Test Championship arena. Take care. Have a wonderful Sunday. Until next week.